Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Tonight, before I came to Mimbar, I thought that sometimes the very obvious, which does not seem to require any emphasis, requires more emphasis than any other subject. Because so much of compliment is now being paid to London Jamaat and London people that mashallah they have all become very good mu'mineen, and that London has changed a lot from what it was. Too much of compliment sometimes takes us into a state of complacency, allowing us to believe that alhamdulillah all of us are now saints and that we have become mu'mineen in purest sense of the term. I pray to Allah that we may not go into that complacency and that we may always understand one thing, that the path of Allah is a constant struggle. No one should think that now I have attained and I do not want to learn anything more, and that we have become mu'mineen in the fullest sense of the term, and that we are so pious that we may sit behind the partition to talk while Mullah is speaking and smoke, but we are mu'mineen and we don't need any waz or nasihat anymore, or it makes no difference whether we sit before him, whether we attend or we don't attend. I can see the danger looming over our heads. The principal thing which I have observed is that while we may think that we have become very pious, there is a bulk of young men who are still not praying at all. Not praying at all. Tarikus Salat. And the parents don't care about it. The father would never rise up to ask his son, have you prayed today? Never. And nor will the mother ask her daughter whether she has prayed or not. And man taraka as-salata muta'ammidan faqad kafar. Imam alayhi salam said, whoever ignored and left one salat, not five even, one, muta'ammidan, knowingly, bila udhrin, without any excuse, he is among those who disbelieve, he is a kafir, and that kafir I will explain later. But the Prophet insistently said this every time, that there is no difference between a mu'min and a kafir but salat. The dividing line is salat. And to imagine in a society where people ring us up every day, Mullah Sahab, and they may be ringing Maulana Zafar Abbas Sahib, they may be ringing Mullah Fidaus Bhai Khaki, they may be ringing any elder. Mullah Sahab, there is a problem now, show me some a'mal. A'mal without salat, without namaz. Namaz which has been wajib has been already ignored. Now what we are looking for is a'mal. People are not prepared to come to salat, but sufra and kunda as a priority, which is something which makes me think that which has no basis in Sharia is given priority over that which is the pillar of Islam. Nothing is accepted by Allah, not even Hajj, not even Sawm, not even Ziyarah. No Sunnat Amal, no other Wajib A'mal are accepted if there is no Salat. Today, the whole world is in search of what they call peace of mind. irrespective of the religion they profess, and whether they profess any religion or they don't. The world is in search of that peace of mind which they have failed to acquire, to gain in any other things. They made an experimentation with wealth, thinking that inshallah when we become very wealthy, we'll have that peace of mind. They failed. The more they involved themselves in earning, the more difficult life became, till at last it became so complicated and so entangled that they did not know how to get out of it. Amirul Mu'mineen salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi has said something so interesting that we only have got to pause for a while to think. He says, if you ask anyone why is he earning, or why is he putting so much effort in earning, he will tell you, to ward off poverty, so that I may not be poor, to keep the wolf away from my door, the wolf of poverty. Ask anyone. Khuda mane koi no mohtaj na kar. This is a nice way of saying that Allah makes me rich, that Khuda may not be make mohtaj of anyone, right? Or Allah, I want to pay more khums. That means make me rich so that I may pay more khums. But you ask anyone, Mawla says, he will tell you that I am putting all the effort, I am struggling so that poverty does not come to me. But aren't you surprised, Mawla says, he who puts in all the efforts to earn so that poverty may not come, lives like a poor man all the way through. May I tell you how? I have been to many rich people. Look at the way they live. Rushing from the office, coming home, if he prays, if at all, then he keeps a musalla, Allahu Akbar, as fast as he can, sits, eats, does not know whether does not even have time to enjoy the taste of food for which he is earning. Allahu Akbar. And where are you going? I have to go back to the office. I got to go back to the shop. A man who does not have any respite and enjoys nothing else but earning and earning and earning. He has no time for that for which he is earning. For the family for which he says, I am earning for my son's security. Ask a man today whether he has time even to take his son, make him sit over his laps, and even fondle him, talk to him, kiss him. No. The children are with the nannies, and the mother is at the office. The children were born in hospital and will die at mortuaries. This is the life that we have. And if you ask the father, I am earning for my son, I am earning for my daughter, I am earning for my children, all that effort is being put for that, in search of that peace which is not there. It's always evading them, always evading them. Allah in Quran says, and this has been experimented, and it's not only for Muslims. Our friend is sitting here who is a respectable member of Christianity, and he graces the occasion every day. You can ask him what is his experience. He will tell you the same thing, that the world in search of peace has not been able to find peace in materialism. Peace they have always found when they came back to him who created them. Ala bi dhikrillah tatma'innul qulub. Remember, with remembering Allah, you find that peace of mind. But there is one difference. It is quite easy to sit down like this and meditate or simulate meditation. Just say, I'm meditating. Close your eyes and meditate. Meditating over what? Over the creation of God, over the wonders of universe, over the beauties of creation, over something good and sublime. I'm meditating. For how long? For say 15 minutes. This transcendental meditation classes have opened up in London everywhere. And down below you'll find they write, if you want peace of mind, come to our school once a week and pay £12 to lose your peace of mind. £20, £30. Here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells you, come 5 times to me. I don't want any payment. 5 times. Not necessarily to the mosque. Come on the musalla at your own residence. This is the beauty of Islam, that you can remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with salat anywhere, in your office, while you are on expedition, on the aircraft, on the train, anywhere you like. At Trafalgar Square, London, Eiffel Tower in France, Alps of the Swedes, anywhere you want to go. You want to remember him, you can remember, and come to the mosque for behalf. Salat. Come here. And Imam alayhi salam said, Imam Ali alayhi salam salawatullah wa salamu alayhi said, there is a meaning of ibadah and there is a ta'wil of ibadah. Very deep. He said there is a meaning, that means you can see what you do. Wajib this much, sunnah. But there is an inner meaning which is ta'wil of ibadah. Jabir ibn Abdullah Ansari asked him, he said, Ya Ali, what is the inner meaning? He said, I'll tell you what is the inner meaning. إِذَا كَبَّرَ أَحَدُكُمْ, whenever somebody says, Allahu Akbar, that means takbiratul ihram. The first takbir. إِذَا كَبَّرَ أَحَدُكُمْ اسْتَصْغَرَ مَا بَيْنَ السَّمَاوَاتِ الْعُلَى وَالثَّرَى. Whatever is between the heavens and the earth becomes smaller, because Allahu Akbar means Allah is greater. Everything else is now small. Everything now else is meaningless. Allah is supreme. The moment he said Allahu Akbar, then Ali alayhi salam says, Jabir, consider a man or a woman who 5 times says, O world, listen to me as I say, Allahu Akbar. The whole world listens to a Muslim. When is, whether he knows Arabic or does not know Arabic, he will definitely ask, what is the meaning of Allahu Akbar? The translation is, Allah is the greatest, but that is not a correct translation. It is a superlative degree. Allah is greater. Greater than what? Greater than anything else except Himself, the Creator. It's a challenge. We are repeating it every time. Once having said Allahu Akbar, now what remains? Once the Prophet saw someone pray, fast, as we do sometimes, very fast. So the Prophet asked him after the prayer, said, come now, what was the hurry for? Why were you in a haste? He said, Ya Rasulullah, somebody there is going to do my work. I have already assigned him with some work. I have got to take the reply from him. And I have got to see whether my work is done or not. Somebody is waiting for me. My shop is to be opened. So I pray as quickly, as fast as I can. The Prophet said, remember one thing, that the Qadhiul Hajat is God and not anybody else. The one who will fulfill your need is Allah and nobody else. Remember, you said Allahu Akbar. He is greater than everybody else. Then what a hurry? What is the hurry for? Why are you in a haste? Pray with a reasonable and moderate speed. Not the way you are praying. Come here, say Allahu Akbar. Imam al-Islam said, and to stand. When you stand, relax. Relax. What a hurry? What is the hurry for? Why are you in a haste? Pray with a reasonable and moderate speed. Not the way you are praying. Come here, say Allahu Akbar. Imam al-Islam said, and to stand. When you stand, relax. Relax. Don't stand in a manner as if you have just been asked to stand at ease. Attention. Not that way. Stand and relax. Relax so that you may be able to communicate with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with some relaxation. And see that your mind is there. Remember that you are standing before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Mawla said, for a while, even if you cannot always keep your mind there, for a while, because we know that human mind is so agile, human mind is always on the move. Even those who meditate, they will tell you, you start meditating on the rose, within no time you will start meditating on jalebi. I mean, you don't know how, you just shift from the rose to jalebi, but you go. Meditation cannot be made like that. It takes time. So we know this. But try, Imam alayhi salam said, as many times as you can to bring your mind back to remember that you are before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Seek His mercy and the peace of mind that you will earn in salat, you will earn nowhere else. And when you go to ruku, as we all know, it is sunnah to stretch one's neck. When we go to ruku, for the neck to be further stretched is sunnah. For men. For ladies, of course, the bowing down is a bit lesser. For men it is like this, more. And to stretch forward the neck is sunnah. You can see in Risala, all ulama have written that this is how the Prophet used to do, to stretch forward your neck. Imam alayhi salam said, it means, Ya Allah, amantu, I have submitted unto you, even if it means my head to be beheaded and cut off. And Sami Allahu liman hamidah is, Imam Ali alayhi salam said, is to say, Ya Allah, He heard the word of praise from one whom He brought from Adam ila al-wujud, from not being into being. I was not there. If my age is 50, 55, 60 years ago I was not there. 59 years ago I was not there. 56 years ago I was just not there. Lam yakun shay'an madhkura. And then suddenly to bring me from non-being into being is a blessing. And then when you go to sajda, Imam alayhi salam said, the first sajda means, you created me from earth. When you sit down, منها خلقناكم ومنها فيها نعيدكم ومنها نخرجكم تارة أخرى. From this we were created. From this to this we will go and one day be buried. And from the same earth we will again one day be resurrected. Remember that. And a man is closest to Allah when he is in sajda. And then Imam alayhi salam said, it is an ibadah, an act of worship, which together with meditation has got demonstration. Ya Allah, while I stand, I bow down or prostrate, there is none I worship but you in all my life. Then Imam alayhi salam said, if a man does not go to Hajj, he has got some excuses. You know, there's no need for me to repeat them. But the excuses are always there. I'm now young, I'll go when I'm old. When he becomes old, he says, I have become old, I should have gone when I was young. Now, inshallah, when I die, somebody will go on my behalf. Or somebody comes and says, don't go to Mecca, Mecca is very hot. So, Mulla Asghar, people are dying like flies. So there are at least inconveniences, there are excuses. Saum, that is fasting, excuses. Oh, it is very hot. Mulla Sahib, I can't remain without cigarette. I must have a cup of tea. And all sorts of things people do make up. For every ibadah, Imam alayhi salam said, there is an excuse. But for not praying, there is no excuse, except that one believes that namaz has no value. I have seen it with my own eyes. The people are praying here. Awwal waqt. That means no one can say that I have come from home already prayed. Awwal waqt. People are praying here. And some of them don't pray and sit there. What have they come for? They have come for a majlis of Imam Hussein, Muharram. It is useless to sit in majlis of Imam Hussein if there is no namaz. Useless, useless. It has got no meaning whatsoever. And I say this with all the authority at my command, that the majlises and the azadari have got no meaning whatsoever if there is no namaz. So this is that sort of kibr, that sort of pride and arrogance, that what will you do, O God, if I don't prostrate before you? What will you do to me? I am not going to do it. That sort of arrogance leads to kufr. Now I am going to tell you one thing, that no adversities and calamities on any family can ever be warded off, whether it be financial, whether it is be social, whether it is be educational, whether it be cultural, whatever, personal. Nothing can be warded off in a household where there is no namaz. No namaz, no barakah whatsoever. Don't look at things which glitter. Inside there is always endless and ceaseless tears. The only peaceful household is a house where there is salat. Don't look at the Mercedes Benz, and don't look at Rolls Royce cars. Don't look at the bungalows. Look at the human mind, whether it is at peace or not. It will be at peace if there is salat. If there is no salat, there is no barakah. Especially Salatul Subh, which we ignore most. Somebody has given a fatwa. If you oversleep, wandho nahi. If you oversleep, wandho nahi means what? Ask him why he overslept. Because he was watching television up to 2 o'clock. He was watching TV up to 2 o'clock. He slept at 2:30, 3 o'clock. Now he can't rise, so he overslept. That is, he can go. Oversleeping with the Prophet and Aimma alayhi salam said is something else. A man sleeps within reasonable time, and someday he oversleeps. That is something else, where he can himself tell himself as a judge that today I really overslept, but not having kept awake up to 12 and 1 and 2, and then say I overslept. Salatul Subh goes, qaza padenge. People read qaza, and some of them don't have tawfiq even for qaza. Salatul Subh means what? I wish people knew it. The Prophet said, when you come out of your bed, that means before you place your feet on the ground in your room, just as you place, say, Hasbi Allah wa ni'mal wakil, ni'mal mawla wa ni'mal nasir. My Allah is sufficient for me, and He is my best agent. He is my best master, and there is no one better than Him. Ni'mal mawla is the best master, wa ni'mal nasir, and the best helper. And then keep your feet. Do you know one thing? We all keep our feet. I hope there is some doctor here to explain what would happen if the nervous system did not work within my body. Would I ever be able to keep my feet there, or even to feel that the earth is supporting me? People fall down because the nerves don't respond. Thank God that my nerves respond, that I am able to keep my feet on the ground and feel that the Mother Earth is supporting me. Otherwise I would have fallen down. Thank God that I have risen again, safe and healthy. Thank God for all that. Hasbi Allah, say that. And then go on musalla after having done your wudu. The Prophet said, do the best wudu in the morning. The best, the most complete. That means with washing, mouthwash, with taking nose, drawing water into your nose, all this sunnah. Do the complete wudu. And then wajib. And come on to musalla. If you can't rise for namaz-e-shab, at least come for namaz-e-subh, which is wajib. And then the Prophet said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, tell mu'mineen, for any crisis that you may be in, any crisis, if you can manage to rise in the morning and pray on time, the condition is on time. Muhafidan li waqtiha. If the time is 5:30, to be able to pray on time, namaz-e-subh. The Prophet said this. If any mu'min just makes it a point that he will rise early in the morning and pray لِأَوَّلِ وَقْتِهَا. That means on time as it begins. I stand guarantee that within no time the crisis will be off. And he will see assistance pouring in from nowhere. That is where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, you rise and my malaika and my angels will welcome you. We don't want to at that time. And that is the most crucial time. And the bulk of Muslimin avoid namaz al-subh as if, astaghfirullah, it were not wajib. And Zuhr, Asr, oh Mullah Sahib, we read together. We pay one check to Allah, 17 rakat together. How can we do this? The time will come where we will pay 102 rakat, 6 days together. And then of course the time will come when we will never pay the check till it bounces. Friends, there is no Islam without Salat. Especially I say this for the ladies, the girls, who most of the parents have told me, asked me, and I am not joking when I tell them, chokri par namaz wajib chhe. Aye jahil. What are these majalis for? For the girls. It is wajib. Namaz is wajib after 9. And the Prophet said, try to give them practice to start praying at the age of 7 for the girls. Age of 7. Salat. On the day of judgment, everything will be asked later. First thing is Salat. So let us come and pray. If you cannot manage to come here at home, but pray. Namaz is not only for Friday evening. That when we will go to the Imambara, we will pray. From Monday till Friday, no namaz. Friday namaz. Or for Thursday evening, when we will go to Imambara, we will pray. It is for everyday practice. A musalla must be in the shop, a musalla at the office, a musalla wherever you are, so that you may not miss your namaz. Unless it becomes absolutely uncontrollable. That is something else. But otherwise, mu'mineen, we will lose the barakah and we will lose the essence and spirit of Islam if there is no salah. And in his letter, very, very important letter, that Imam Ali alayhi salam wrote to Muhammad ibn Abi Bakr. Muhammad ibn Abi Bakr was his emissary. And Imam Islam writes him a letter of directive. He says, after having written the whole letter, at the end Imam Islam says, Wa'alam ya Muhammad, and know you, O Muhammad, be careful. Wa'alam ya Muhammad, inna kulla shay'in taba'un li salatik. Everything you do will follow your namaz and salat. If there is no salat, there is nothing. كل شيء تبع لصلاته ومن ضيع صلاته فهو لغيره أضيع. Whoever ignores namaz, he will ignore other things much more if he has the habit of ignoring namaz. That means he will start ignoring everything, because when he has not cared for namaz, else everything else is inferior. Let us experience that peace. That peace of mind which we are in search of in the markets, in the shops. It's not there. In the family, people think that the newlyweds, the newly married think that I have found peace. Where? In the matrimony. He doesn't know, aage aage dekhiye. Hota hai kya, as they said in Urdu. Ibtida-e ishq mein rota hai kya. आगे आगे देखिए होता है क्या. He doesn't know, poor. He's just married, so he thinks everything is flower and roses and all that. He doesn't know आगे आगे देखिए. There will come a time when then you will say yalla 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 yalla, when the child will be born, or when the wife is expecting, then Mullah Sahib ek taweez lakhiya paare kam bakat. That taweez has got no meaning where there is no namaz. What you require is salat. Peace of mind is in salat. Do that which is obligatory. You are asking for things which are not obligatory. And the child will be born. And then one day he will fall sick. You will go for taweez. Useless. If there is no salat. And when one day I will die, people will come and sit for Yasin. Useless if I died without salat. Allahu Akbar. How long should I go on saying that we are neglecting one of the most important things? It is wajib for us to join the salat, and if these are the days as they are now that you can pray at home because the time is earlier, then we have been asked to pray at home if you are at home. If you have got the time of fadila, seize it, even if there is namaz-e-jamaat. Listen to me first. If you can seize namaz-e-jamaat, namaz-e-fadila, that means awwal waqt. Say you are not in the office, you are at home, and you can pray right as the time enters, you must pray immediately. And then you can come here and repeat your salat if you so desire, the same day. But if you are at shop, in work, by the time you came home, fadila waqt has already passed. Then of course it is always better to come and join namaz-e-jamaat. But for a man who is retired, who is at home, and just the time enters, he should stand up and pray Maghrib and Isha. When he comes here, he will repeat. He will get the thawab of Jama'ah. Imaman aw ma'muma. Whether he is an imam or a ma'mum, he can repeat. Not necessarily qaza namaz. He can repeat the same day's namaz. And Imam Rida salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi once was traveling with his friends. He reached a manzil, a place where it so happened that 5 or 6 people were with him. Some 50, 60 were still coming. And the time of namaz entered. And Imam Islam removed his abba and sat for wudu and stood up for salat. One man said, Yabna Rasulullah, shall we wait for those to come? Because they are coming within half an hour, 1 hour they will be here. Imam Islam said, no. When the time of salat has set in, start immediately. When they will come, they will also pray. But don't wait. He gave adhan and he started prayers immediately, showing that there is an importance if there is no reason or no udhr. Inna salata kanat ala al-mu'minina kitaban mawquta. Quran says salat is on time and obligatory related to time. Salat al-subh, ziyarat Ashura, amal, thali, minnat, sufra, kunda, taweez, all these, they follow next. First is salat. Salat, my. If you see your son has not prayed, please tell him. Tell him salat. There is a good program on TV, salat. What will happen if I die while watching that good program on TV and salat goes on? And it has happened in the world. People dying with such a peace. People dying while watching TV. It has happened. It can happen to anyone. May Allah not give us that sort of death. So please understand this. And this is for us, not for him. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given this. This is the line of demarcation between kufr and iman. When we stand, try to concentrate and be with him and say, Ya Allah, I belong to you. Every affair of mine is in your hand. And see what peaceful life you get. How much of peace namaz gives. Instead of being wajib. I am talking of wajib. I am not talking of sunnah. Sunnah namaz list is very long. The more we can follow, the better. But wajib at least must be followed. If you see your daughter not praying, tell her. And my sisters who are perhaps listening, if your husband is not praying, tell him to pray. Tell him. For a wife who has given the habit of prayers to her husband is the best wife who will accompany him to Jannah, inshallah, one day. And all husbands, if you see your ladies don't pray, wives don't pray, tell them to pray. There was a time, and I wish it is repeated, when we were young, when we came to breakfast table in the morning, the father used to ask us, have you prayed today namaz-e-subh? He knows that whether you have prayed or not. He knows it. You are living in a house, not in a castle. He knows whether your room opened or not. He knows whether you went for wudu or you didn't. So there is no question of lying. Huh? But he doesn't say, he doesn't accuse. Bapa namaz padhi aaj? Bapa, હું lesson કરતો હતો. So you're doing your lesson and then you overslept. So don't sit on the table, sit down here. We were made to sit on the ground. And the tea was served in, I don't know what to say, in kifu. Kifu, you know, you must have seen the coconut. Coconut. When coconut is dry, you cut it into two. Each one is called kifu. This is one kifu, the other is this. So we were given tea in kifu. And say, you drink in kifu because you do not deserve the ni'mah from him who created you while you forgot to prostrate. In the house, huh? This was how it was. And if you said we prayed, alhamdulillah. Not only that, I am not talking of father. There was a time when elders would sit, or elders. I am not related to them. I am somebody else's son. He is not even my uncle. He is sitting there. He sees a young boy. He says, "Aao beta aao." Do you pray namaz-e-subh? Yes, I do. So there is a flower, a bunch of flower. Or there is a fruit, which he says, "Beta le, take this. This is a gift from me for namaz-e-subh." No relation, just encouragement. To say, come son, can you read Surah Al-Hamd? Can you read Surah Inna Anzalna? And he reads, and this man listens, and he gives one token. The boy or the girl is so elated and inflated. But indirectly it is tabligh of namaz and salat, which we have forgotten now totally. We don't ask even. How can I ask? If I ask my son, he will feel bad about it. He will feel offended about it. Those are the days which must be revived. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us musallin. And let us make among those who enjoy and tell about salat. Our friend, you are a good friend if you can make one friend namazi. If you are a good friend. If you can make one friend namazi. But if you don't want to make him namazi and leave him, then you are not a good friend. Ya Allah, Rabbi ja'alna min al-musallin. Parvardigar, don't make us among those who on the day of judgment, when the angels will ask, will say, Ma salakakum fi sakar. Quran says, the malaika will ask, what has brought you to hell? After all the prophets have come, you have come to the hell? Ma salakakum fi sakar. What has brought you to the hell? They will say, Lam nakum min al-musallin. We were not among those who prayed. Allah save us from that. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.